Hello, everyone. My name's Christiana Davidson. I'm a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist, and my specialism is narcissistic abuse, primarily within the family system, but also in adult relationships, because, as I always say, those two generally seem to go together, not always, but very, very often. So, the topic for today is all about attachment. Um, and the title I give it is the following: Narcissistic personalities do not attach. Instead, they dot dot dot. And I wonder if you can uh, just think to yourself for a moment, what would be the opposite of attaching to somebody? Um, and I'll give you a hint. The word that I came up with rhymes with attach. I do like those little um, rhyming words. So, to start answering this question, you know, let's look at what healthy attachment in a relationship actually is. And you might even think of your current relationships now and see, where they are at in terms of this. So, healthy attachment is feeling connected to another. It's being able to trust them, to really have a sense of feeling, I can trust this person. There's a sense of comfortableness, like you're just at ease, not in dis-ease. You're able to be yourself. You're able to really be yourself without fear. There's an equality, and a sense that both of you want the other to thrive. That's what you're here for. That's why you're in the relationship. If one succeeds, it's like the other does too. There's a wonderful sort of mutual um, desire for well-being. If I put it in my own words, this is what a secure attachment or a healthy attachment is. It's a relationship where you're safe to express love for yourself and love for the other. So, for a narcissistic personality or NPD type, they do not attach. They don't want what I've just shared there. That's not going to get what they're looking for. What they do is they attach themselves to a fantasy version of you that serves their needs. Thank you, Robin. Robin here says narcissists attach when it is in their best interest. Exactly, Robin. If it doesn't suit them, they discard. Absolutely. So for the narcissistic personality, relationships are not about reciprocity, equality, all of the things I've just mentioned. It's all about what they can do via their interaction with you to sustain their false self, their ego, in other words, how they can get what they need from you in order to feel good about themselves, but not only that, to feel superior to you. That's key. That's what they aim. They've got to maintain control over you by ensuring that you see them as superior to you. That's where they get the supply from. So, in my view, and here's my answer to this question: narcissists do not attach. They don't come with the view to attach. They come with the view to snatch. They want to snatch everything from you for themselves and ensure that you cannot thrive. That they have to be the one in control of your thriving. That's the aim. They do not wish for you to thrive unless it's them allowing you to. They've got to be in control of it. They're not bothered about you thriving or what you're getting from the relationship. They're only bothered about their own thriving. And that's what their aim is. So can you imagine this now? If you have a narcissistic parent, knowing deep down that in the relationship with the parent that's meant to be your safe haven, that there's an unsafety. There's a real sense, there's a real felt sense of it not being completely safe as a child. There's an uncomfortableness. There's an uncertainty. You're not fully able to trust your own parent and their motives. You're not able to be yourself, but you're having to become who you are told, the fantasy image, or who you are needed to be. And often you're rejected, and this is a clincher, you're rejected when you show love for yourself. When you show love for yourself over love for them, that is not acceptable to the narcissistic parent. In fact, they don't want to see you loving yourself. You've got to love yourself through loving them, through meeting your needs. That's what makes you lovable, and they want you to do the same. They want you to have that as your aim, that you feel that you're able to express love for yourself because you've met their needs. That's the dynamic that they need to install in you from a young age. So as you can see, if you're raised in this type of situation, it's a state of fear. There's a fear of somebody in your life who's wanting to snatch from you. And ultimately, the narcissistic parent or the partner is aiming at usurpation. So that means taking you over, I think, almost taking your soul, taking your personality and making it theirs, making it their possession, a soul snatcher. And this is, I believe, the cause of CPTSD. One of the key causes of CPTSD is this sense of feeling like there's somebody out who wants to snatch from you. So narcissistic personalities do not attach. They don't want to. No, they snatch. And then at some point, as Robin mentioned, they detach or they discard. And what you're left with is you're left feeling like, even having done all of this, sacrificed your likes, sacrificed your dreams, given over your whole self, your whole personality, your whole life is not enough. Even though this goes another level, even adapting yourself, so abandoning yourself, your dreams, your desires, and adapting them to the narcissist is not enough. So you're left in a place of total despair because there is no way for you to find that sense of being good enough in that situation. There's nothing you can do. You can't, being you is not enough, and adapting you is not enough. So what's the solution here? And this is the work I do with clients, actually. Number one, I believe, is to call out this adapted version of you that you became. Because as soon as we can see that clearly, then we're able to reconnect you with who you really are, so that you can get to a point where you like being you, regardless of what anyone else thinks or feels. You're actually able to get to a point where you can say, I really like being me. I like how I choose to exercise. I like how I choose to spend my free time. I like how my desires and my dreams, that I like me, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about that. So that's sort of the aim there, is to separate you from that snatching narcissistic takeover that happened in childhood if you had a narcissistic parent. And it's vital to do this because literally your life is on the line. If you resonated with this video or you have any comments or anything like that, please do share them, and I look forward to seeing you in another live later on this week. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye now.